What you're saying doesn't make you a sinner. But it does make you a tremendous shit.
Welcome to The Casting Dead, a podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Matt.
And I'm a tremendous shit. No.
Or David. One and the same.
I felt like I just really like that line.
And today we're going to be discussing Season 7, Episode 7, titled Sing Me a Song.
You want me to sing you a song?
Nope.
Okay.
I cut those songs out when you sing.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know
See, if I was in Carl's place, I would have thought of so many songs. Like, well, I have a lot of options. Which would you like me to sing? And he'll be like, oh, whatever.
No.
Okay.
I think once you start, he's going to regret asking right away.
That's true. I think Lucille's going to come closer to me.
You'd never make it that long.
Oh.
What were your initial thoughts on this episode, David? Extended episode, what'd you think?
Honestly, I don't think it was worth. I mean, I don't like anything else. It wasn't worth as much as it should have. You know, it's not the content. I mean, the content may have been there, but it's not. I felt like another lackluster for basically tense moments. I feel like it's just. I feel like Negan is no longer the threatening character that we were introduced to in the first episode. I feel like a lot of it's died down.
Well, yeah, it's got to.
Why?
You can't have him just be a caricature of a villain the whole time. He's got to have a bit of humanity. You've got to see that he has... Yeah.
I don't agree. No.
Well, then you're watching it for the wrong reasons.
I'm not watching for the... You can't say that. I feel
I just did.
No.
You want a villain that has no humanity, no heart? You want somebody
We've discussed this before, Matthew. We've had people... You could have a character that just wants anarchy. You could have a character that just wants to just do bad. You could do that.
That's not interesting, though.
How is that uninteresting?
Because, well, I guess we have had this discussion before, and we're not going to change our
mind. No, we're not. But like I told
you,
my primary example is the Joker. Like, you know, you don't even know what motive he has. He's just an anarchist. And I'm not saying we have to have that with Negan. And of course, you want to have some sort of backstory or maybe some reason to why he is the way he is. But I'm just saying, it doesn't stop him from being a dick the whole time. I mean, he is a dick the whole time. But just I feel like he right now, and I'm going to talk about it a little more later. Like, but I'll emphasize a little more is that he's more of I find he's more annoying than anything.
Yeah, but that's who he is. He's annoying, but he's also very dangerous. He's very threatening. So.
I guess so, but okay, we'll go on more about it because I feel like I want to emphasize that a little more at the end of our recap. But yeah, there's more to it than what I'm saying right now for sure.
All right, we'll get into it. But cool. I like this whole episode. It was short of what happened at Alexandria at the end. It was kind of beat for beat like the comics, and I think that's what most people on the forums were saying too. That it was the closest episode. It followed the comics almost exactly.
This one being the closest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the whole Carl going to the sanctuary and all that. You know, Daryl wasn't in the comics, but it's basically almost word for word what was happening in the comic.
Right. Yeah.
The only difference was that Carl is too old.
He is.
Because Carl was 12 in the comics at this point, which made everything a little more intense because you don't know what a kid that young is going to do. Like, you don't know how his mind is working, and he might act. I mean, Carl, yeah.
You mean in the comics? Sorry.
So what did I say?
Well, you said a kid that young, so I'm guessing you're talking about the youngest in the comics?
12. Well, yeah. Well, he's 12 in the comics, but
right.
A kid this young, I'm talking about the show now.
Okay.
If he was 12 in the show, it'd be a little different. It'd be a little more intense. You wouldn't know,
I don't even
feel a little more scared for him.
Does Carl in the comics assault other saviors?
Yeah, I just said beat for beat. This is what happens. 12-year-old in the back of a truck. He takes a machine gun. He blasts through a bunch of people.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was beat for beat, like a start, because I from what I read, I thought it was beat for beat when he brings him into the sanctuary.
Yeah, well, it's the same way he gets in too. So
that's fine.
But it was Carl trying to act grown up in the comic. In this, it was him doing it too, but it was, I don't know, it was different. It was different because he was almost old enough to do it anyway.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be more believable that he does it at that age as opposed to a 12-year-old.
Okay, so we're at different ends here. You're agreeing with me, but then you're saying the opposite of what I'm saying. No. So you think it's better that he is 17?
Yeah, I never said that he was. I never said that he. Yeah, I never said that it wasn't good. I just felt like I found it more believable.
We're just talking. Anyway, I don't. I wish he was 12, but the actor's.
You wish he was okay. Why do you wish he was 12 then?
I went over.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I just.
Yeah. So, did you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into the recap?
We'll go through it on the recap.
I do have more to say, but I guess if you're going to save it, I'm going to save it too. We'll talk about Negan and his...
One thing I do want to say, though, I want to ask you, do you think the viewings went up for this episode, or they went down?
Did you get the ratings?
I did.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
I would imagine they went down.
You would imagine they went down?
But Walking Dead is an enigma, so maybe they went up. But after a terrible episode, they usually go down.
Right.
So what was the rating?
Well, it went up slightly because last week it was at 10.4 million. Now it's back up to, let's see, not by much, by like 10.48 million.
So it went up by 8.8.
Yeah,
how much it went up? That's not
that's what they got at by the numbers at zaptoit.com. So, yeah,
can always trust Zap2It.
Yeah, yes, but that's where I don't know. That's where I've looked. They have it for even like Westworld, things like that. So that was the primary source they gave me for Google.
Okay,
but
so they're not doing much better though.
Not too much better.
Maybe after this episode they'll. I'm sure the number.
It's a mid-season finale. I'm sure it will go higher. I think naturally it should.
Yeah, but they're not going to get 17 million viewers like they did for the opener.
Maybe afterwards if they kill somebody or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. That's just.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be live though. That's
just
for sure.
A ploy at this point. Let's get. I like the episode overall though. I really enjoyed this episode. Maybe it's just because I really like the comics, but I also found it had. It had a lot more of what I've been wanting, and especially coming off of the Oceanside episode.
But for the Oceanside one, like Swear, that one I took it for what it was. It was supposed to be a filler episode, and it was a decent filler episode.
You don't have time to have filler episodes when you have so much going on.
They have so much, Matthew. They bled everything. They could easily be more efficient with all the other storylines. And yeah, so this filler episode I didn't find it that bad. Though I know a lot of people would disagree with me, but. Even at that, I think
the world disagreed with you.
Yeah, probably. But I'm not saying it was the best episode. I'm not saying that either. But I'm saying for a filler episode, it's what you had to expect. But like when you're sitting through like the episode like The Cell, you're like and you're disappointed in a certain way, or when Negan first visits Alexandria, which is titled Service. I mean. Yeah. It's you shouldn't be expected to be bored, or you shouldn't be disappointed at the end of an hour, especially that one. It's supposed to be, they said as it to be an hour and a half, extended episode. You shouldn't feel disappointed at the end of it. No,
but what you're saying is, see, the key word you keep using is filler episode, and there's no place for filler episodes.
There's never. I know that, but age. I know, but it's going to happen
with this. The way TV is going, you don't make filler episodes anymore unless you're making like a 24 episode season of something on a regular network show.
I agree with you, but
when you have 8 episodes, one season 16 episodes, but you break it down to 8, you don't have room for it, so it shouldn't have been a filler episode. Just because it was a bad episode doesn't mean it was a filler episode. It just means it was a bad episode. And they used it. I mean, for us, yeah, it's just like filler, but for them, they're not writing it thinking this is just an episode we're going to put in between the important stuff.
Oof.
It should have been important.
It should have been. I don't think it.
And I think they
comes across as important.
No, because they don't know what they're doing.
And then even throughout the episodes that are supposed to be progressive, they're not as progressive as they are because they beat around the bush so much.
Yeah, because they need to condense things a little more. They don't need to.
there's certain, by the time we get to what we've seen so far, I even feel like there's certain episodes that shouldn't have been aired because I feel like they would have had better context airing after the matter of what we've seen so far.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. That's
exactly. Yeah, no, for sure.
In the way you want to view it, but
for sure,
does make sense. Let's get into the recap. We'll touch on all this stuff as we go.
But I'm 50-50 on the episode, though. I don't entirely hate it, but I feel like this one as a quantity, there was more things that I liked.
Okay, so you don't want to make a decision.
No,
you're sitting on the fence about it.
Like if you're playing like roulette, I'm betting on green.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna win.
Yeah, but if I do, it's so rewarding.
How could you in that analogy? How are you gonna win? Not saying whether you liked or disliked the episode.
Yeah. Let's not go further on the analogy.
Right. So we open up on Michonne. She walks up to the burnt pile of mattresses and walking down the road, whistling to attract walkers. She kills them, and we get a close-up of her bag with a walkie-talkie in it. That was the very first scene. We saw a little bit of that at the end of episode 4. And this time, did we see the mattresses again? Did we ever talk about how those mattresses looked terrible?
Oh, yeah. Well, they were burnt, though. You mean like after the matter or before?
Yeah, well, they were smoldering, but...
I'm surprised that's how much they burnt. I thought they would have been like in ashes or something. Like I thought I'd see more ashes, but these remained more intact. They could steam, like not usable, but
no. But those mattresses, people on the internet weren't sure what they were. Like people had to come out and.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, some people thought it was rubble from burnt buildings. Some people thought it was like a fallen space station or satellite.
Oh, that would make the series so much more interesting if you have like a fallen space station and maybe evidence of an afterlife of outer. Life in outer space, but
well, I don't know. It's not the time now.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But
maybe when the series starts dying down, you can introduce aliens.
Yeah, probably aliens. You have to fight over walkers.
Did you notice she was following Jesus's trail of maple syrup? And
I didn't actually. That I did not notice.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think she was following it because she has no reason to know to even be following.
Yeah, but she's going back to where the mattresses were. She's been there before.
Well, this is. Yeah.
She has been there before. That's the thing. I really feel like this. We keep going back to the whole geographical aspect of this universe.
Confused because I thought that was just a scene from what we saw last episode. Not last episode, but episode 4.
Right
after she leaves, Rick says she needs to go and think about something. Okay, no, never mind. You're right.
Yeah, no, because
she went back to the mattresses. I thought it was just picking up where we left off the first time she saw the mattresses.
Exactly. No, it's not.
She's been back to Alexandria.
She spoke to Carl, remember? She interacted with him and everything. And, she kissed Rick before he left and everything with Aaron. So, yeah, she's been back there. So she's basically back at the same spot as we've seen from that episode of Service.
Okay. And we did see a little trail of syrup or whatever.
Oh, I didn't notice personally, but if you did, it's great.
She didn't know what she was following because there was no communication.
Probably
and I don't know, what was the significance of the walkie-talkie?
Well, it's linked to Rick because the next shot you see is Rick with his walkie, and he didn't check anything, but you see a shot of his walkie-talkie of the same brand, and I would assume it's the same channel, and he's with Aaron in the back of that truck. Yeah,
so he's maybe it's to show that there's no communication between the two of them. Maybe they're
he's waiting on it, or maybe yeah.
It's kind of like how the relationships kind of fall.
Do you think
apart.
he knows that she left? I don't think so. I think he figures he left her there, and he's off on a run with Aaron, and maybe.
Yeah, but he can't. He can't
be surprised.
Sit still. Yeah. But they are getting into a territory where they don't have the best communication, and Rick's got to know that Michonne is not thinking highly of him right now because of what's going on.
Well, I don't know. She parted them with a kiss. I mean, it encouraged him. He goes, "Thank you for that." That was the last episode when he said that.
Yeah.
So. I mean, there is signs that there still is hope for both of them, but
yeah, but Rick's feeling really beaten right now.
Of course,
he's thinking, Michonne's not even trying to call me. There's nothing going on. Maybe that's something, but
I don't know. If it was a cell phone, if it was a working cell phone, it's one thing. If it's a walkie, I mean, I could understand that you don't get any feedback.
Yeah. I didn't know what she was doing at the beginning when she was grabbing those walkers. At first, I thought she was bending one to turn him into a chair.
I was hoping
bend his knees and then lean on him, but
I hope she wasn't target practicing is what I was thinking too. But no, I think it looked like she had the intent after you saw what she was doing with it, and she was it the farmers? I forgot what tune she's listening
Farmer
to.
in the Dell.
Farmer in the Dell. Yes, thank you. Sorry, couldn't remember.
Yeah, there's some reason they're singing some weird songs. She's whistling a weird song. Later, Carl sings "You Are My Sunshine." You'd think 17-year-old would know more songs than that.
Well, when you think about how young he was when the apocalypse first happened, I don't think he had time to. I don't think he could register what pop culture was at that time, too. Right?
There's CDs.
Probably, but I don't know if you had the chance to listen to them as he was escaping Atlanta.
Yeah, but he had a lot of time to settle down now.
I mean, like, remember, if we think back I don't know if this was in season 3 or 4. I think it was in 3 when Rick is passed out in a house and on the couch, and Carl goes on that rant just criticizing him while he's passed out.
Yeah,
he still goes on that little bit of that hiatus. And
he goes into the pudding.
Exactly, goes to get some pudding. But if you notice, when he goes into like another kid's room where he had like an Xbox and all those video games, I said to myself, it's like, oh, he